Okay, so let's continue with our coding exercise series. And in this video, we are going to cover this problem, zigzag conversion. So you can open the leetcode.com and go to the problem section. And if you scroll down, either you can search here question number 6, hit enter, or like this question number, zigzag conversion. It's come under the medium category. So click on it. So just a second. Okay, so let's read the question. And let's first understand the question. If we understand the question, then we will see how we have to write the logic. So the string is written in a zigzag pattern. So there is a string which is written in a zigzag pattern on a given number of rows like this. You may want to display the pattern in a fixed form for better legibility. Okay, so first we want to know what is a zigzag pattern, right? And we have a string given. All right, so what is a zigzag pattern we want to know? Okay, we will going to see, and then read the line by line this. So what they are saying is we have some string is given. So the string is like PayPal is hiring. So if you break it down, PayPal and then is then hiring. So there is some string like A, B, C, D, E, F. Some string is given, and it so so if you notice here, so this is not a zigzag. This is only a single line, all right? So this string is single line, but they said this string is written in a zigzag pattern. But when it is written in a zigzag pattern, so it looks like this: PAYPALISHIRING. So like this zigzag patterns, right? Then when you write this string in a zigzag pattern, right, then you need to read it line by line. So if you read it line by line, so first line is this PAHN, the second line is APLSIIG, then third line is YIR. So you need to print in this sequence, that is PAHN. So the PAHN, so PAHN, and then APLSIIG, and then YIR. So you need to print like this. Write the code that may take a string and make this conversion in a given number of row. Okay, the second thing is okay, first thing is clear, the sum string is given and it is being written in a zigzag pattern, and on a given number of rows, we have rows are given. So as an example, so this PayPal hiring is given. So they said there are maximum 3 rows, that is number of rows are 3. So when you start writing P, then you start writing A, then you start writing Y. So 3 rows completed. Then you need to traverse above in a zigzag fashion. You can't traverse down, you have to traverse above. Okay, so let's jump to the whiteboard to understand first. Okay, so our string is PayPal is hiring, right? And number of rows is 3. So first we have to understand what is the zigzag pattern. So this is a zigzag pattern. If you notice this is a zigzag pattern, right? So if you scroll down, you come here, then this shape, then this shape, then this shape, this is the zigzag pattern. Understand? So now we go to know this is a zigzag pattern. So if we have to write the given string in a zigzag pattern, how we are going to write? And they said number of rows is 3. So we have to make sure when you write, so the total number of 3 rows will be covered, and after that the elements will start writing in this direction. Okay. Okay. So let's see. Now we have to start from here. So we are writing a zigzag pattern. So we will write P, right? Then A, then Y, right? And then we have to stop. Then we have to stop. Then we have to traverse. So how where we have to traverse? We have to traverse like this, like this. So we have to traverse like this. So after Y, what is the character? So PAY is completed. Now what is the character P? So where we have to write P? So like this way, P, and where we have to write A, like this way. All right, like this way. So we have write P. So 3 rows completed. After that, ALI. So now we have to traverse like this, ALI. All right. So now we have to traverse like this, SH. Right. Now you have to traverse this. Now you have to traverse this. Now you have to traverse this. All right, so but it's completed. So like, so this is a zigzag pattern. So we have like writing in our string like this. So by looking this question now, now you have to read line it by line. So PAH and APL, this line and this line. So if you see our output is, so let me rub this. Let me rub this. So if you see our output is PAHN. So if you see PA, sorry, I will like write it down wrong. So it should be PAHN, and then APL. So PAHN, and after that PAHN, after that APLSIIG, and then YIR. So we have to read line by line. So we read first line, we read second line, we read third line. Okay. So the main problem is like if we store this format in some way. So if you closely look at this thing, this is kind of a 2D array, right? Right. So 2D array, a kind of a matrix, right? Doesn't matter whether the first row has like first row has how many columns or second row has how many columns, but it a kind of a 2D only, 2D kind of a structure, right? So if you are going to store the given string, this string in the 2D array, then the problem is very, very easy. After that, like let's suppose you by some way, by some tricks, you find this way. You store our matrix, you store these characters in some array. Then what do you have to do? Nothing. You just run two loops, row. So whatever the character is coming, P, okay, append in the output string, then A append in the output string, then H append in the output string, then N append in the output string, then A append in the output string. That's it, and we have to return this. Now the problem is how we are going to store this array. All right. So like I told you, this looks like a 2D array. This looks like a 2D array. So can we take first, because if we have to store this into this way, right, to solve our problem, we have to store this thing in this format. So to store, so we need to store. If we need to store somewhere, we need some kind of a matrix. And what kind of matrix we need? We need 2D array, right? So this is a 2D array. So let's take 2D array. So let's take 2D array. So one array, and so 1 minute, something is wrong. We will take one array. Let me rub this. Uh, yeah. So we are going to take like so one row, second row, third row. So this is our 2D array. So this is our 2D array. All right. Okay. Now which element store, now we take some array. All right. Now the problem is we took the array. So we took the array. Now the problem further break down into what step. So with the given string is given, which is fine. We have to convert this string, okay, and after this string we have to convert it to this one. So from this, how we are going to convert it to output string? We know we have to just run for loops twice, like a nested for loops. So first read the row, then second row, then third row. That is fine. We can do that. So now the challenge is we have we how we are going to store this array, how we are going to convert this array. So to convert this array, to convert this string into this array, we need some kind of a output array. Okay, we take some output array, which is fine. Okay, but now the challenge is which string going to store in which row? Which string is going to store in which row? P is going to store in first row, P is going to store in second row, P is going to store in third row. Where we are going to store? All right. So let's see where we are going to store. First is P. So we know the first character is going to be stored on the first row. So first character is going to be stored on the first. So P is going to be stored here. So 1 minute. 1 minute. So let me. Something is wrong. Okay. So first character is going to be stored here. So P is going to be stored here. Okay. Now come to the, so we need to run a loop on S as well, because the first character will come P, and we know it should be on the first row, because if you closely see where is the P. P is on the first row. Okay, so we store in on the first row. Okay, so we store it in the first row. Now, so now where? One second, what is happening? So P is done. Now, now we come to the A. So where A is going to be stored? Where A is going to be stored? A is going to be stored in the next row. So what we have to do is, okay, row is, we will take some row element, row is equal to 0, and first element, when the in the starting row is equal to 0, we are going to store in the first row. First row is like a row, first row is a list, so list dot append that first element. And then what we are going to do, because the second element is going to store into the second row. So what we are going to do, row is equal to row plus 1. Okay, so A is going to store here. A is going to store here, which is fine. Now the third element, Y. So Y is going to be stored into the third row. Then we are again going to do row is equal to row plus 1. Then we are again going to like store into Y into third row. Okay, so perfectly fine. But what next? What next? Now now we reaches this fourth P. So if we again do row is equal to row plus 1, we are coming out of the array. We are coming out of the array. So we need some way. Sometimes we have to do row is equal to row plus 1. Sometimes we have to do row is equal to row minus 1. But when we have to do row is equal to row plus 1, when we have to do row is equal to row minus, the only challenge is that only. So the bigger problem convert into this like a very small problem. Now the challenge is, we know first element in the first row, second element in the second row, third element in the third row, we put that. Now, where we will put the fourth element? Where we are going to put the fourth element? By looking at this diagram, we know fourth element in the second row, but we are on the third. All right, so shall I put here or shall I put here? Okay, now we come to the second, the fourth element, P. Okay, so we can, now you can say, okay, we can put some kind of logic. As soon as we reach the last row, we will start decrementing, which is perfectly fine, which is perfectly fine. As soon as you reach the last row, you are going to decrement it. So now the row is equal to 2. All right, so now the row is equal to 2. So now you will, but you will do row is equal to row minus 1. Row is equal to row minus 1. So the next element is going to be stored here. Next element is going to be stored here. All right, now the next, the further element is equal to A. So where the A is going to be stored? Where the A is going to be stored? For the, when you are on the last element, you put the logic. You put the logic that when I am on the last row, I will put row is equal to row minus 1. But now you are on the second row. So P A Y P, you place exactly correct like position, but where you are going to pay like place this A, where you are going to place this A. We know as per the diagram it should be on the first row. But how the second row is going to know? Because if we do row is equal to row minus 1, because we are doing, there is a if condition we put in our code, there is an if condition. If the row is 2, then we, if the row is the last row, then we are going to do row is equal to row minus. But now this is not the last row, right? So this is not the last row. So what we have to do, so shall we do row is equal to row minus 1 or shall we do row is equal to row plus 1? Because if we do row is equal to row minus 1, then we are going to, then one second, if row is equal to row minus 1, then we are going to like put put here. And if we are going to row is equal to row plus 1, then we are going to put here. But if we do row is equal to row plus 1, then our solution is wrong. And if we do row is equal to row minus 1, then our solution is correct. But when we have to do, because when we are on the second row at this position A, at that time we are doing row is equal to row plus 1. But when we are on at here, then we are doing row is equal to row minus 1. So we get confused whether we do row is equal to row plus 1 or whether we do row is equal to row minus 1. All right, so the simple answer is, if you are coming from top, if you are coming from top, that is if you are coming from row 0, if you are coming from top, then you have to do row is equal to row plus 1. And if you are coming from bottom, then you have to always do row is equal to row minus 1. All right, so you have to, how your rows, how you are going to know? Because when you are at this position, when you are at this position, how this A is going to know I am coming from top or bottom? How this P is going to know I am coming from top or bottom? So you need some kind of flag. You need some kind of flag which we are going to set true or false. And true means incremental order, false means decremental order. So some kind of flag we need. So based upon that flag, we are going to take row is equal to row minus one. So what we are going to do when we are on the row zero, as soon as we are on the row is zero, we put that flag increment flag. So we are going to take that flag. Let's suppose the flag is increment and we take as a true, because when we are on the row zero, we know we have to increment that flag. So we are on the row zero. So now we have to increment our flag. Okay, row is equal to row plus one. The next element. So 1 second. So next element is a. We put is equal to a. So still increment flag is true. So we are going to do is equal to y is also we are going to do row is equal to row plus one. So y is come to row is equal to two. Now when we reach to the row is equal to 2, we have to put the increment flag is equal to false. So we have to do increment flag is equal to false. So when we increment, then we will check if increment is equal to false, then what we are going to do row is equal to row minus 1. So p here. So now we will check, do we need to do row is equal to row plus 1 or row is equal to row minus 1 based upon the increment flag. So increment is false. So we have to decrease. So now a is will come here. Okay, then what next? So now row is equal to 0. If row is equal to 0, the increment flag should be true. Increment flag should be true. So if increment flag is equal to true, so we have to do row is equal to row plus 1. So if row is equal to row plus 1, the L will come here. Now row is equal to row plus 1, so I will come here. So as soon as we reach to the row is equal to 2, we have to make this as a false. So if this is a false, then we have to decrement. So if we decrement, then we have to put S here. And again, we have to decrement because still increment is equal to false, then we have to put H here. So in this way, so if you see the sequence P, A, H, A, P, L, S, Y, I, so we are putting the elements at correct order. We are putting the elements at the correct order. The same thing we are going to implement in our logic. So let's write the logic. Let's write the logic. Okay. So and one more thing. So let's suppose if S is equal to this string, if it says number of rows is equal to 1, if it says number of row is equal to 1, then what is the zigzag position? The then the zigzag position is same only, because if the number of row is equal to 1, then this is the zigzag position. So what we are going to do, if number of rows equal to 1, then straightforward we are going to return the S. We don't need to like align this thing, because if the number of row is equal to 1, that is already it is one row only. Already it is one row, then we don't need to do anything. Okay, which is perfectly fine. Now if you look at the constraint, number of rows could be 1000. Number of rows could be 1000. Okay. Now if the number of rows is equal to the length of this string, is equal to the length of this string. So if it is equal to the length of this string, then we will put P here, A here, then Y here, then P here. All right. So all are in the same column. All are in the same column. If the number of rows is equal to or greater than the length of the string, then still we are going to return S. Still we are going to, because we are printing line by line. So P, A, Y, P, right? So again, we are going to print S only. So let me rub this. So that is basically like a boundary condition. So if number of rows is equal to 1, then we are going to return S, or number of rows is greater than equal to length of S, then we are going to return S. Then we are going to return S. Okay. So that condition is finished. That condition is finished, which is perfectly fine. Now we will, like, if the number of rows is 2, if the number of rows is 3, 4, whatever. All right. So now we have to, so like how we divide our solution. So first we need to convert this into this, and to convert this into this, we need a 2D array. We need a 2D array. So let's take a 2D array. So output is equal to, so not output. Uh, okay. Okay, let's take an output array. Output array. So output array. So we need a list of list. So there is a one array, and in which there are three lists. So there is a one array in which there are three lists. So 4 dash in range of number of rows. That's it. So if you are going to print this, print output, and let's return something. And if you're going to print output, I'm showing like this is a like a array. So you could see we took like one like outer array, and there are three arrays. The first is in the zeroth index, second is the first index, the third is in the second index. All right. So we took the array. Okay, fine. Now what next? So once we took the array, what next? What we have to do? We have to scan this as. We have to scan this as. How to scan this as? Normal. Four character in S. Okay, four characters in S. So now we are starting from here. So now we have the P. Where we have to put the P? Where, so we know the first element where we have to put the P on the row zero. On the row zero. So how we are going to put output of row, or you can say zero, but we are going to put row. So in the starting we can take row zero. So output of row, output of zero. So it means this one. We are putting the element in this, the first inner array. So output of row dot append and character. Output of row dot append and character. So if you want to see the output again, I can show you. So and then return something. I can show you. Let's run it. So you could see in the first array, p is written. Anyhow, like I am not putting in the logic. So in the first array p is written, second and third array is empty. So in the first array p is written. All right. Okay, fine. now you have to do now you have to do. Okay, so p is written. Now row is equal to 0. So now whether you will do row is equal to row plus 1, or whether you do row is equal to row minus 1, based upon the increment index. So when we have to increment, when we are on the row 0. So if row equal to 0, then we have to increment flag is equal to true. L if row is equal to number of rows minus 1, then we have to do decrement. So increment is equal to false, right? So increment is equal to false, which is fine, because if we are in the row 0, then we have to increment. And if we are in the last row means the number of rows 3, 3 minus 1, 2. If we are in the row 2, this row 2, or this row, then we have to decrement. Okay. Now, but we like this logic is like of no use till now, right? We put p only. Now we have to put the next element, that is this element a. So where we are going to put a? So we said, okay, if row is equal to 0, row is equal to 0, we have increment flag is equal to true, but we have to do the increment. So if increment, then we have to do row is equal to row plus 1. Else we have to do row is equal to row minus 1. Else we have to do row is equal to row minus 1. So if increment, then we are going to do row is equal to row plus 1. So now p we put here a. So p we are going downwards, because in starting increment flag is 2. So now a is putting on the row is equal to row plus 1 on the second. So a we put here, okay. Now y. So still we coming up from the top. So y will put on the row is equal to row plus 1. So as soon as we reach row is equal to row number of 1, we are putting increment is equal to false. So if increment is equal to false, we are not going to do row is equal to row plus 1. We are going to do row is equal to row minus 1. So now p is going to put here, because row is equal to row minus 1. So row is equal to 2 minus 1 is equal to 1. Right? So in this way, we are going to put every element. So if you are going to do print output array, so just want to see, have we put have we created this array, this 2D array in correct format or not? So let's see. So you see PAHN, PAHN, APLSIIG, APLSIIG, YIR. So we put our elements in this form. Now the solution is very, very easy. What we have to do? What we have to do? So now you can just run the loop. You can just run the loop. So now you know this is a 2D. So for row in output array. So now row in output array, so it will take first row, then second row, then third row. So as soon as you take the first row, we have to scan the characters. So four character in a row, four character in a row. Okay, so let's take the result, or you can say jig jag string, zigzag string, because we need the zigzag string. All right. So if character in for character in row. So zigzag string is equal to zigzag string plus that character. So now first row is scanned. So PAHN, then APLSSIJ. So now we have to return the zigzag string. We have to return the zigzag string. So let's try to run that. Let's try to run that. So our sample cases has been accepted. So let's try to submit to check if all the test case has been passed or not. So now you could see all the test cases has been passed, and from the performance point of view, runtime point of view, we have beat 86% of the people, and from the memory point of view, we have beat like 30% of the people only, because here we are creating a 2D array. All right. So if you don't want to create the 2D array, so you can that is fine, because that is like a clear solution and easy to understand. If you want to make it more speed, if you want more speed, so you here like I am using the a nested for loop. All right. So better you can use the uh, list comprehension. If you use the list comprehension, it will be more easy. It will be because we know in Python, if we use the list comprehension, our solution will run even more faster. All right. So you can do a little improvement, but the more the logic is going to remain same. The logic is going to remain same. So now we understand the question, how we have to approach the how we have to solve this question. So we know this. First, we have to know how what is the zigzag array. We know how to the zigzag array. So we write our zigzag array. By as soon as we write in a form of a zigzag array, we see it's kind of a 2D array. It's kind of a 2D array. Okay. So now we have to decide which string, which character we have to put in which row. Which character? So it's a 2D array. So we can take a 2D array. So we took some 2D array. We took some 2D array. Now we have to decide which character we need to put in which row. So P is on zero row, A is on first row, Y is on second row, then P is again second row, A is on first row, L is equal to second row, and I is equal to third row. So where we have to put. So now we know, okay, we have to do the increment, we have to do the decrement. But when we have to do the increment, when we have to decrement, based upon that whether we are coming from top or whether we are coming from the down. So if we are coming from the top, we said okay, increment flag is equal to true. We are coming from above. If we are coming from above, we are if we are coming from above, we are going to increment. If increment, then do the increment. If we are coming from down, if we are coming from down, so as soon as we reach down, we said now do the increment, do increment. So if increment is equal to false, then do is equal to rho minus one. So now it is going to place the character at their respective position. So as soon as we get the 2D array, then it's very simple. Just scan the just run the for loops and combine all the elements. So that's it. That's the end of the video. So you can also try this question. Like it's a easy question. All right. No, I can say notes. If you divide this problem now, then it's look very easy. And I am 100% sure by looking even this question, by looking this question, many people go to know we have to create a 2D kind of array because we have to scan this array. The only challenge maybe some people are facing is how which element we have to put in which row, which element we have to put in which row. All right. By looking at this diagram, people going to understand we have to take the 2D array. The only challenge is which element going to put in which row. Either we put increment, either we put decrement. So that's like we're going to know. If we're coming from top, then increment. If we're coming from bottom, then decrement. So that's it. That's the end of the video. Thank you.